Well, rugby fans, get your teeth stuck into this one because this is all for you. The semi-finals of the Super Rugby competition are over this weekend and we're going to rip into it. I'm using some very, very harsh language at the moment. Please don't be scared. This is the Sunday Roast. Well, as Dave Dobbin once said, welcome home. He didn't say welcome home to the Sunday Roast. We're going to use it anyway. That's Bradley Richardson. I'm Jake O'Flaherty. We're going to go over the weekend that any rugby fan would just be absolutely frothing at the mouth over. Super Rugby semi-finals. And, well, at least one of them was really exciting.
Yeah, well, probably less people than last year, though, since there were like 5 people at both games.
That's true. Well, no, the Lions game was all right, but we'll get to the Crusaders versus the Chiefs first. 27 points to 13. The Crusaders took it in, a very clinical performance. They just pounced every time they had the ball, and even when they didn't have possession, they're still able to convert that into points.
Yeah, well, they didn't have possession much, nor did they have territory. Chiefs really dominating that game on the stat sheet, but just couldn't find a way to convert their points like the Crusaders could.
Yeah, well, the first try by Bryn Hall, brilliant, 75-metre worked play. Of course, a couple of passes. Israel Dagg finds himself in a bit of space, quickly inside to Bryn Hall, and he opens the scoring at 16 minutes, and then not long after that, a massively controversial disallowed try by Tim Nano-Williams. As a Chiefs fan, that's hard to take.
Yeah, Nano-Williams, of course, putting a little bit of a grubber through theme of the season, going to place the ball, but knocking it on over the try line. Of course, the try was awarded, then it was played on the big screen, then it wasn't awarded after they went to the TMO, so the TMO really getting his pay that day.
Yeah, Glenn Newman, he was worked hard that day, but it actually reminded me of a Chiefs playoff a couple of years ago, which the Chiefs actually were on the better end of. Aaron Patterson made the call of a foot and touch by the Highlanders not too long ago, and it's massive nowadays that you just, as soon as that try's awarded or you think you've scored, you can't count your chickens before they hatch.
Was his foot actually in touch though? I can't quite remember that.
You said, okay, so this is a story, we go a little bit across.
I probably said something stupid.
Yeah, no, so I thought it was in touch, Bradley didn't, but we actually saw Aaron Patterson in the changing rooms, and we were having a bit of a yarn to him the week after, and Aaron actually showed Bradley the photo of the pick in touch, of the ball in the guy's hands, and the foot in touch. That was a bit embarrassing for you to be shown.
No, but he didn't actually know that I disagreed with him.
Oh, didn't he? But you would have felt like a bit of a dick.
No,
anyway.
I was still adamant. I remember still being adamant that he wasn't in touch.
So even though that the actual TMO showed you the photo, you were still...
It could have been a fake photo. He's probably good at Photoshop.
Maybe. I mean, that might be a thing you have to have if you're a TMO.
Is that like a qualification?
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, okay, so 10-6 at half time. Chiefs really, you think, okay, we're in for a hisser of a second half, but Israel Dagg's try at 48 minutes, well, a bad pass by Brodie Retallick, and then it just went pear-shaped from there, flicked along, it ends up to James Lowe, and probably in one of the most crazy tries you'll see in a long time, Israel Dagg gets the ball in his hands somehow and goes over the line. That was spectacular.
Yeah, well, James Lowe went to kick a tackle came from behind him, knocked the ball out of his hands into Israel Dagg's, as you just said. Israel Dagg, no one in front of him, ran 10 metres and scored a try.
Yeah, well, Richie Mo'unga, he really deserves a pat on the back for that. Seta Tamani Valu scored a try in 57 minutes, the former Chief, and then he scored one not too long after that in the corner as well at 72. A bit of a consolation at 77 for Brodie Retallick. They weren't too happy with it, the Chiefs, though, were they?
Nah, I mean, at least they went out of Super Rugby with the try. So, they can hold their heads up high. They got some points on the board.
I mean, I think they weren't playing the old mantra of last try wins.
They could have.
Well, if that case, then Chiefs will be going to South Africa next week.
Well, who'd scored? No, the Hurricanes didn't score the last try in that match. No.
Yeah.
No, you're right, Jake. You're right.
I mean, look, a bad crowd as well. They weren't a horrible crowd last week as well. That was a state of emergency in the city, so fair enough. But for a Super Rugby semi-final, which was not a guaranteed final if they won, that's a very poor showing by the Christchurch faithful.
Yeah, the only stands that were really filled up were the ones with the covers over them. Sorry, that you don't have seats over a stand. You have to think maybe it's because the temperature was -2 degrees. No one really wants to go outside in that sort of cold.
No, it's not. And look, regardless of that, it's going to be a little bit better conditions in South Africa for the final, and I'm really looking forward to that and seeing how specifically the Crusaders forward pack's going to munch up against this Lions outfit.
That's a new word. You'd never used munch before.
No, I know. Actually, I did last week, but I didn't use it in that context.
Are you referring to the forwards being fat? Do they munch a lot, or...?
Almost.
Okay.
I mean, you could take it that way if you want. We'll move on to South Africa and Johannesburg, or however you pronounce it. I was trying to be all fancy in South African, but I don't think it worked. Semi-final number 2 and 44 points to 29. A rematch of last year's final in the semi-final, and that was a spectacular game.
Yeah, I'll use a cliche term here. It was a game of two halves. Hurricanes really dominated that first half, and the Lions... They found a way to turn things around, as they have done a lot this season, and get back on top and end up smashing the Hurricanes a bit. They
hadn't played New Zealand opposition this year. That was the year that they weren't going to, and they proved every critic wrong of Super Rugby in that format, because they put the points on the Hurricanes. But TJ Perenara, Wes Goosen and Adi Savia fortunate enough to score the first 3 tries in the match, and at 38 minutes it was 28-8. And I think majority of the people watching were thinking, okay, well, something's really got to change or else the Lions are out of this thing.
Yeah, they must have a hell of a halftime talk. Like, the Oranges must have had some steroids in them or something.
Do you reckon the gummy worms or the gummy bears, the lollies...
The party pack?
The party pack, that the Powerade was kind of...
Gatorade.
Gatorade. Whatever it is, I don't know what it is. Maybe they just had sparkling water and really got out there.
Maybe some lemonade.
Yeah, I reckon maybe they cracked a few cold ones, brown fizzies.
A cup of coffee?
Maybe. I think we need to contact the Lions nutritionists and see really what was going on in that halftime.
Definitely.
I think if that's replicated in the final, the Crusaders don't have a show. But 39 minutes just before the halftime break, Jacques van Rooyen attacked close to the line and monstered Wes Goosen, and there was no real contest there. It was prop versus winger, and you kind of know how that's going to end up.
I was watching the highlights of that. The ball, you never actually saw the ball get grounded. So I think that was a controversial point that was brought up a few times. A couple times in the match where they should have gone to a TMO but didn't. And you saw in replays that shit may have not actually hit the chalk.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll talk about that soon, because
do you actually have notes on that?
Yeah, no. I
thought you just wrote down who scored the tries.
No, I did that too, but I've got some notes.
Yeah?
Yeah, so we move on, and Ross Cronje and Malcolm Marx scored the next 2 tries, so it was 3 tries for the Hurricanes, and then straight away 3 for the Lions, and they really scored at the crucial times. 39 minutes and 43 minutes put them back in the game, and then at 52 they equalled it up with 22 all. They really put the points on at the crucial moments.
Yeah, 22 points in that second half, I believe. Am I right? Is my math right?
Look, I mean, I don't do maths, but look, I mean, I don't have the opportunity to go through it at the present time, because I'm not quick enough to do so. But Vince Asso scored almost as a complete reply to Malcolm Marx' try, and Beauden Barrett not long after that. Yellow card, Bradley. That was a very harsh call.
Yeah, of course, Beauden Barrett didn't really do anything cynical. He tried to roll away from a ruck, but the ball ended up coming with him, because the ball seems to love the Barrett brothers. So, I mean, can you really blame them for that?
Yeah, I mean, you look at the replay, and benefit of the replay, obviously it's helped, but Jaco Piper, in the moment, he's seen it on a different angle. You know, that's just sometimes the way rugby goes, isn't it?
Yeah, well, he made the decision pretty quickly. Are you allowed to go upstairs for those calls?
Yes, you can. So maybe you could.
Maybe the TMO was just not there that night.
Maybe. I mean, maybe. Yeah. I don't know. But Harold Forser scored a try. Beautiful line. Pretty easy for him too. All he needed to do was catch the ball. He didn't have too much butter on his toast in the morning, so he was able to hold on to that ball and not drop it. Elton Yanchis, not long after that, scored a try. So it was 2 tries while Barrett was off, and that was crucial in the game, wasn't it?
Yeah, a lot of teams don't take advantage of those 14-man players. The Lions in this case did. So all credit to them. They really found a way to take advantage. I've said take advantage already, haven't I?
You can say it again.
Am I allowed to say it again? I'll say it one more time. They took advantage of the 1-man difference. Of course, probably 2-man advantage with Jaco Papa being the ref, but I'll keep harsh on that point.
Yeah, Quokka Smith, the man who I would say probably has my favourite name ever. Quokka Smith scored in 73 minutes, intercept and a good offload to Smith. He goes over for the try, and I think it was all wrapped up then. The Lions could be pretty safe in their bet that they are staying at home, not having to travel anywhere. Well, not having to not travel, I suppose, because they wouldn't have been in the final if they lost. So I don't really know what I was going to say there.
So but either way, it was a win-win because they wouldn't have had to have gone anywhere.
Yeah, they wouldn't have.
Have they had to travel outside of South Africa this whole season?
Yeah, they have.
Where?
Australia.
Oh.
And
okay.
and such like places. But 44 points to 29. So the Lions get some sweet revenge on the Hurricanes after the loss in the final last year. They're going to meet the Crusaders at home at Ellis Park next week, and I am pumped up for that one.
Let's be honest though, it would be a completely different match if they were playing in Christchurch.
I agree. The Crusaders are, what way are you thinking this is going to go? Because
I really don't see the Crusaders losing this.
Really?
They're a hell of a better team than the Hurricanes. Except that a few weeks ago where they slipped up in Wellington, but
yeah,
we won't talk about that.
No, because that would kind of go against your argument.
Yeah, I've already got enough going against that.
Amen. Well, it's going to be a completely different match, and as it was in Christchurch, as you said, it's going to be quite a forward-orientated game with the Crusaders. And look, honestly, I think we're in for one hell of a match. We're going to have a bit of a commentary. We're going to get up early in the morning and spread some joy across the YouTube streams, aren't we, Bradley? I'm pretty pumped up for that one too. I'm going to say pumped up again.
We're not doing a pre-match for that, are we?
Oh well, I mean it depends. Do you want an extra sleep? Do you?
Yeah.
Oh.
I actually want to get some sleep.
Okay.
Let's not. No.
Okay. Are we going to do the game though?
Yeah, I think we can maybe do like 5 minutes. The first 5 minutes and the last 5 minutes.
Okay, so we're just... Okay, well, I mean, if you'd like to do that, stick with us with PYJAMA. Make sure you check it out, the Super Rugby final. We'll bring you that live stream of the final. Just because we're a bunch of GCs, don't ask us what that means, because we're good Catholic boys, aren't we, Bradley?
Good Catholics.
Yeah, I know.
GC.
Well, anyway, we'll meet you back then. The Super Rugby final. We'll see you in the chat. Have us a bit of a yarn. Have us a bit of a like and a subscribe and all of that jazz. But we'll see you then, eh?